Hello, Robbie here from Save Stores, and today I'm doing a super fun sew-along, and I want to show you how to make a card. And I've made one of these before, but I was just thinking, you know what? They're super fun, they're really easy, and OESD, one of our brands that we partner with, came out with some really fun ones. So last time I made a card, we made, so you're a quality friend with a koala bear on there. This is Cheeky Cards, and there's a whole bunch of different cards, and they're really cute, and there's different cards that you can make. This is more of a postcard type, and it just says, thinking of you. Really cool and fun stuff. So today, what I want to do is spend some time with you, having some fun in the sewing room here, and maybe sew along, talk about some different things that I'm going to use when I make this, and maybe entertain you along the way, but more importantly, teach you and inspire you to make something fun. My idea for this was to make something for Valentine's, and I was reminded that not everyone has a Valentine's. So you know what? We're just going to do a birthday card, but it's the same thing. So there's tons of different cards out there that we can make, and I want to show you some fun things that we're going to do. So while we're here, I'm going to show you what we're going to need is, first you're going to need an embroidery machine, and I'm playing here on the Bernina Calf Special Edition. It is an awesome machine. It's a 770 QEE. That's a lot of letters and numbers, but just believe me, it spells awesome and super fun. You're going to need a hoop that's about your 6x10 hoop size or bigger. All of these designs aren't going to fit. So if you have a smaller 4x4 embroidery machine, I'm sure you could probably find something out there that would work for you. Or this is a reminder that if you're going to do things that are called in the hoop, you might want to upgrade because the new machines in the hoop, bigger items, bigger fun, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to need that. You're going to need some cardstock to make your card. And Bree just took some, what do you call that? Heavy paper, cardstock, I guess, and cut it to size and folded it for me. So thank you, Bree, or I'm assuming it's Bree. It could be someone else, so if it's someone else, I'm sorry. And then you're going to need some stabilizer to put in the hoop. And stabilizer, if you think about it, it's kind of like the foundation on your home. So it's kind of like what's going to hold everything together. And since we're doing paper, we don't want to use a wash away because you don't want to get your paper wet. And I wouldn't want to use a cutaway because I don't want to have to do that. So what we're using is a tearaway. So what a tearaway does is just like it says, it goes in the hoop and then you put your embroidery and then when you're done, you can tear it away. So we carry several different brands of stabilizer. I just chose the OESD one because hello, we're doing OESD and Floriani. But we also carry the Dime and the Kimberbell stabilizers as well. But this is called Stable Stick, and it's a tearaway product. And this, of course, if you're doing an OESD design, they're going to tell you to use this. In the Floriani world, it's Perfect Stick Tearaway. They're a very similar product. They are slightly different in weight. I recommend buying both. You'll find different uses for each one. But for this particular product, you're going to be fine with either one. So what makes this stabilizer special is it's a two-parter, well, technically a three-parter. You've got your back to your stabilizer, and this is the part that we care about. Then we're going to have this sticker top. It's kind of like a shiny, waxy paper. This is what we're going to remove. And the reason I like to do it this way is you can peel it apart like a sticker and then stick it to the back of the hoop here. But the problem is when you do that, eventually all your hoops get sticky, and that's no fun. So I'm going to show you a trick here, and I hope the camera can pick it up, where we're going to score it and then do a circle around, and then I'm going to pick out and reveal the sticker underneath. So that's why I said it's like a three-parter. There's the paper, there's the top cover, and then there's the glue. So that glue would be our third layer. So if I come over here, can you see me anywhere? No? Yeah? Okay. So I'm gonna, oh, okay. I'm gonna score it here. So all I did here was score it, and now I'm gonna pick out these little pieces that I cut. And this is the fun. It's like a kid at Christmas. You get to open your awesome present and reveal the amazingness that's inside. And I gotta tell you, Christmas at my house is something to behold. It is fun. So we are gonna get this out. So now I have exposed this sticky, and I'll touch down here. You can see that it's sticky. So I'm gonna tell you that the first card that I made was, it wasn't that one, but it was that same one. I really tried to stick the card down. And the problem is when you really try to stick it down, it doesn't wanna come off so easy. And sometimes these cardstock, they can kind of separate. So remember, we're just gonna kind of tap it in there to hold it, because the first couple stitches of our embroidery are actually gonna hold it in place and keep it from moving around. So the other thing I wanna tell you is we have these new needles, and they are awesome. They're called anti-glue needles. And if anyone's ever sewn on a sticky back stabilizer, they'll appreciate this. Now, these aren't a no glue stabilizer, they're an anti-glue. So they have a special coating on them that helps them slip through the fabric a little bit easier, but more importantly, the glue won't stick to it. Now, I will tell you, eventually, if you go through enough sticky stuff, it will stick. It's kind of like that, I saw a meme and it had a Teflon non-stick pan, and it had a sticker like for like the pan with the barcode on it, and the sticker was stuck to the non-stick pan. So eventually glue will stick, but I will tell you, you can sew way longer without getting that little ball of glue on the needle, and it comes off super clean once it does finally get that, if it does. I will tell you on this project, we're not gonna get that. So then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna load it up, thread it up, and we're gonna do a placement. So if you can jump over here on this one here, can you see the bobbin there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna open this up, and I wanna show you a couple tricks. So first off, this is bernina, and it has a front load bobbin. And what makes this super cool is if my project is on here, I can change my bobbin, replace it without having to take my hoop off. Now I'm gonna take the hoop off so you can see what Robbie's doing. But second, I'm gonna pull this bobbin out, and this thing is massive. It's got the biggest bobbin in the industry, and this is great because we're not gonna have to be rewinding it and replacing it all the time. It just goes into this little bobbin case, and I'm gonna show you a little trick. So I have a tail here on my thread. I'm gonna push it in, and normally I would cut this and it would leave just a short little tail that's enough to get caught and enough to start sewing. The problem with that is we're gonna do a basting stitch for our first placement line so we know where to put that card. Well, I get a lot of people that say that they're not catching their basting stitch. So when it starts doing the little tack down move, it doesn't catch until usually it hits a corner or something. That's because there's not enough thread in the bobbin to catch the thread on top as it moves to the next stitch. It kind of continuously unthreads itself. So a pro tip that I learned from my grandpa is don't cut this tail. Leave it in here, close your door, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna put my hoop on, and I wanna tell you, actually, once I get this hoop on, the design we're doing today is punny birthday cards, and it's full of a bunch of puns. It's got one that says, I love you to the moon and back. Today, of course, we're into sewing. So we're gonna do So It's Your Birthday, which is pretty cool. They've got, damn, another birthday with a beaver on it. That's pretty funny. And then a cactus one, hope your birthday is on point. How about that? They could add quote blocks here and say, I hope it's on point. That would be funny. But we're gonna do the sewing one. So I've already pulled it up here in the machine. Oh, and this is OESD. It is 51338. I feel like I'm one of those uh, shows, the home shopping, the home show, where they say item number blah blah blah. So item number 51338. There's 10 different cards in all the different formats. So just because I'm on a Bernina, you can do this on a Brother, Babylock, Janome, whatever you got. Just make sure you have a 6x10 or bigger hoop, and you'll be ready to rock. I will put a link in the bottom that'll go through our affiliate page, so you can buy it there, or you can come into the store and we can download it for you. Either way, it'll be super cool. This is part of their Scissor Tail Stitches collection, which is really fun ones, which is really great. So we're going to get going on this, and I'm going to put it into the sew mode, and we're going to pull our tail. And I want to show you something that's really cool about Berninas here. I have my foot pedal plugged in, and what's unique about this is it allows me to pull my thread at the beginning. And normally, you wouldn't have to do this. But we can pull up our bottom thread, and I can make sure it doesn't get snagged in that door down below. And I can make sure it's going to catch as we're doing our sewing here. And here it goes. And it's going to do our tack down. So this line here actually is a little bit tighter than a baste, which is good. But it's going to show us where to go. Now, when we're doing our card here, the important thing that we have to think about here is how the card is sitting. So if we think about it here, our temptation is to open this up and just put it down. But that's going to do it on the inside of our card. We want it on the front of the card. So we're going to open it and make it look like a little mountain. That makes sense? And then we're going to sew on the right side of that mountain as we put it in here. So here's my card. And remember, we've got our mountain. And I'm just going to line this up. And I'm going to make sure that I'm covering the stitching here. But remember, I'm not going to really push to get this on, because our first few stitches here are going to do what I want to do. Now, on this fun trick, it's two colors. I'm on the second color now, but I put the same color as my second color in because I don't care about that position line. I'm going to sew over that. So I'm just going to start here, and I'm now sewing my second color. And I'm going to pick it up here and get her going. And how fun is this? I love doing these fun projects. And one of the neat things about the in the hoop designs is the machine does all the work, or I should say most of the work. And it makes it really easy, and they're fun. You get to pick the colors. We can skip things. So at the end here, if I didn't want to put the words on there and I wanted to add my own words, I would just stop it early, and then I can put my own saying in, or I could handwrite a little letter. If I wanted to turn this into maybe a Valentine's card, I could skip that last part and just write some special thing that I wanted to put in there, which is super fun. And that's the neat thing about embroidery is the machine's doing a lot of the work, but it doesn't mean that you can't still be creative and create your own stuff and have fun doing it. So we've got this sewing machine going, and it's almost done with this color here. And on this bernina, if you can scroll down, we have a little progress bar here that shows me how long I have left in this color. And I'll show you another cool feature that we have here. So it's going to be done. This one's going to cut our thread for us. And it's going to tell us to do our next color. Oops, and I bumped the arm, but whatever. All right, so I'm going to be doing a big cone here. Ba-da-da-da. And I love buying thread on these big cones. So there's white, there's black. Maybe we have a favorite sports team, maybe school colors if you're doing things for the grandkids, or a dance team or something. But there's certain colors that we'll find that like you really love this pink or you really love this blue, where it makes sense maybe to buy these big cones. These are 5,000 meters. So this cone holds well, I picked the smallest one. How about that one? It has more thread on it. Holds 5 of these on one of these. We need a thread stand, and we sell these thread stands that have a cast iron base so they don't tip over. I've had these plastic ones in the store. They don't work well. So I will tell you, these are the best way to go. They're $14, so they're not expensive. But the savings you'll get from your first spool of thread will buy the thread stand. So I'm going to thread this up for us. And I'm going to move this a little closer behind the machine here. And I'm going to thread it. And if you can come over here, I'm going to try to do this with my finger out of the way. Am I blocking the camera here? Not really? Good. And then there we go, and it's threaded. Look how easy that is. Can you imagine in the olden days when you had to thread machines without a needle threader? Oh my gosh, we're so spoiled these days. So I'm gonna start this next color, and this is a flower petal. Ooh, look at this. Now, if we come back over here onto this screen, I want to show you a thing. So it's going to cut our jump stitch, which means that it's removing the thread in between the two. Now, Bernina has a feature, a couple cool tricks that they have. So this is a jackrabbit, and if you listen, you can hear that the machine just slowed way down. And why that is we can actually control how the machine handles certain parts. So if there's a part that maybe you're getting, I don't know, maybe some thread breaks that wasn't digitized very well. Obviously, not an OESD design. Or you can cook it up and let it run so we can finish those projects a lot faster. And if you notice, when I hit that jackrabbit sign, the machine actually knows how much time we saved, and it actually adjusts for us, which is really cool. Sweet, look at that. Oh, we got another little inner part of a flower here. Pretty cool. And we're done. Now we're on to our next color, which is going to be a yellow. So we got the brightest yellow we could find. Hello, sunshine. We could use a little of that right now. And we're going to come right down here. Boom, boop-a-da-boop. Pop it in. And we got this cutter. Can you come over here onto this side? Can you see that cutter there? Not really. I'm in the way. There's a little cutter on the side here. And what I love is it actually holds our thread up there so that you can kind of see what's going on. So now we're doing another flower. Look at that. Off we go. Off to the races, as they say. And I've got to tell you, these Bernina machines, they are so smooth and quiet. But they've also added a new embroidery arm technology called Smart Drive Technology. And what it does is it uses different motors. So the machine is a lot smoother, but it can embroider up to 50% faster than the old machines. So Bree just got one of these embroidery machines, and she is amazed at how fast it is. And she has a top-of-the-line machine from Brother, which is the same as the babylock. It's the Luminaire. But she was sewing on a project where she went on a camping trip, and she brought her embroidery machines with her, and they parked at a campsite and plugged in and did their They're sewing together, and they were sewing out the same project, her and a friend, and the bernina finished before the brother did, which kind of surprised us. We were very surprised with that, which is pretty cool. And look at this. It's going to put our little spool of thread on there. Look at that. Look at that. Done. How about that? Now we're doing, what is this? Oh, another flower. See, and it's asking for like a gray or a blue. I'm like, heck no. I'm putting pink on this one. I'm going to do it right. So one of the tricks I'm going to tell you that I learned a long time ago in embroidery is I try to plan my colors out first. That way I can lay them all together and see what they're going to look like. But I also do one other thing here. Let me show you. I lay them out in a row. So they're all lined up here. And then as I use them, I put them somewhere else. So they're not part of my pick. So they go somewhere else. So I don't accidentally use the wrong color in there, which can happen sometimes. This has very distinct colors, and it's a little card that doesn't quite matter. But sometimes you get a lot of shading and colors, and it does matter. So I was doing a photo stitch. Do I have it back here? I do. Let me show you this. This is all thread. Can you see that? How cool is that? Elvis, he's in the building. So if I didn't have the right color in there, he wouldn't look right. So very, very important that you had all the right colors. So pretty cool. I digitized this. Took me, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes to digitize, and then a lot longer than that to sew out, but it's worth it when it's done. Pretty cool. So we are moving on to green. We're doing the leaves. Leave me alone, right? All right, we'll put this, and remember, we're going to put it somewhere else so it's out of the way. I got my green here. This is going to be a fun card. How about that? And I love this because they go so quick. Now, I will tell you, if you had a multi-needle embroidery machine, and I get a lot of people that say, I don't need one of those, I'm not running a business. Well, that's fine. But my mother-in-law, I should just say my mom, has a multi-needle, and she doesn't sell anything that I'm aware of. She might have a side hustle that she's holding out on me. I'm just kidding. But she gets so much more done in the same amount of time. So on this, it's only 8 colors, technically 7, because the basting you can run as your first color or your second color. When we're doing this, you push a button, it's going to make the whole card stop, and it's done. And we could put maybe 3 or 4 of these cards in the big hoop on a multi-needle, and we could sew out 3 cards in probably, I don't know, half an hour, 10 minutes each, and they're all done. They're all perfect. And these machines also have a feature called color sorting, which allows you to put all the colors, so it does all the greens at once, all the yellows at once. So it doesn't do a whole card and then a whole card and then a whole card. It goes green, 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 orange, orange, orange. So if you were maybe doing a patch or something where you had a bunch of different patterns, but they're all the same pattern in the hoop, you can go through and put it all in. And speaking of patches, I'm glad you mentioned that. We have Fuse and Seal, and this stuff is awesome. It is a no-sew glue, and what it does is you can cut it into little strips, and you can literally iron stuff together, and it'll literally be totally sealed. My teacher, Betty, says this is great for outdoor camping. You can seal the seams on your tent, so if you ever go out and you get like a leaky spot in one of your tents, iron a piece of this inside of wherever it's leaking, sealed, Fuse and Seal. And if you've ever had a patch, and you flipped it over and it had that layer of like glue stuff that's in there, that's what this is. So it's got a layer of that kind of waxy paper in there that covers the wax part. So you put it down and you iron the paper, the same stuff that we used here today kind of, and you iron it and it glues to it, and then you peel that paper off and it's all done. Fuse and Seal. So this is what we put on the inside of a card to make it all go together. So now we're moving on to our next color. We got orange. And I will tell you, I heard from everybody that I'm doing this wrong, and I'm sorry, but I am just pulling it backwards, and you're not supposed to. This dawns on me. I get in a mood, and I just start going. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So as I thread this up, there we go. And I love how this bernina drops the foot when I go to use the threader. That is a helpful thing to have. So when we change our colors, the right way to do this is to take some scissors and to cut your thread and to pull it through the needle. That way the thread goes through this way. You shouldn't be a monster like me and just rip them off the machine. But I know how to fix them, so I'm gonna get away with that. I'm just kidding. I should be doing it right. So this next one, I'm gonna do it right for us. So another thing I wanna show you, can you see this right here? So remember that pin that I was doing? Look at this, built-in pin cushion. So when you're sewing, you can pull your pins, because remember, we don't sew over pins, and you can put them here on the side of the machine. It also holds the stylus, but I've got a finger, I can use that. But I know some of us sew in a guest room where the screen's a little cold, or some of us don't have as good a circulation. So sometimes the screens don't respond real well. So with this, it gives us the ability to have a stylus as well. So now I'm gonna cut it, and pull her through. And now it's done the right way. And that way we don't get any fuzz caught in our tension or anything like that. So now, our final color, and we're almost done. So you've been sticking together with me. So if you want to sew along with me, I'm going to leave this posted on the interwebs for a long time. I'll probably won't even delete it. So we can sew this out. So if you want to come into the store and bring a memory stick with you, or we have them here. But if you have one that you don't need to buy one, that would be fine too. And let me get this going here. And we can download it, put it on your stick for you. If you've got a certain format that your machine likes to read, I know the Brother and Babylocks do Pez, Janome does Jeff, Bernina does them all. How about that? So when I open the designs up in this, there's like 5 or 6 different versions of every design, because that's how many different machine formats that are out there, which is really cool, that I can pick the one that I like. Or if maybe I had another brand of machine, I don't have to reformat and convert all my designs over. I can just plug the stick right in and it works. How cool is that? Super cool. So as it sews along, it's doing the last color here, which is probably the most important. It's the words. But remember I said if we wanted to maybe use this card for something else, we just skip this last step and I could program in whatever saying it is that I want, or I can handwrite it, draw a picture, do all kinds of stuff in here to have fun. And that's what's so important, is that we make projects and have fun doing it. So it is, look at that, just spelling away as we go. Making. So that fuse and seal, we sell in the roll, and we sell it in little packets here. And sometimes I like the packets because they're a little bit easier. But if I was sealing seams on a tent, I would probably buy this one because you can unroll it for a long time. Now, I want to tell you, on the inside, you can finish it off with any number of things. But we love to use our scan and cut. It's a Brother cutting device. And you can load up one of the first stitch in here, put it into the scan and cut, and it will cut that size for us automatically. And it's a perfect square. You pop it right in there, you hit it with an iron, and bada boom, bada bing, it's all done. Super cool. So there's a lot of different fun things. I don't know if you've noticed, we've got a special sale on our caves. They are limited edition, so as long as we can get them, they're available for you. They do come with fabric. Heck yeah, and it's free spirit, cave, of course, fabric. And these are not fat quarters. They're half-yard cuts, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 half-yard cuts. That's a lot of money in fabric. Comes free with the 770. There is a 570 and an awesome, my wife calls it, her name's Tiffany, so she calls it the Tiffany machine because it's got that aqua color, which is pretty cool, really popular. And then this isn't the actual kit. We didn't have one out on display, but there's a whole bundle that comes with the caves, and it is insane. It's got OESD designs, a bunch of stabilizer, embroidery stabilizer, wash away, cutaway, medium weight tearaway, medium weight sticky. Hey, how about that? Right there. And it's Bernina, which is OESD. Bernina owns OESD. And then we've got some special tearaway tape, which is also great for doing these cards. If you don't have sticky, you can use tearaway tape to tape the hoop in. But I find that peeling off the tape doesn't always work that well. Some needles, and then you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Look at this. Ton of thread in a box, and it's Isocore thread, which Bernina owns as well, which is an awesome thread. In my opinion, it is the strongest embroidery thread that I've ever used, which is great. And it just sews really well and has a nice look. And when you look at that, our card is done. So it's your birthday. So I will tell you, thank you so much for sewing along with me. If you're interested in maybe checking out what Bernina has in the world of embroidery, I would definitely recommend this or its big sister, the 790 Pro that just came out. They've got some neat, fun things. These in the hoops are fun. I do a bunch of sew-alongs. I'm going to do them on a bunch of different machines. So just know that you don't have to have a Bernina to do this, but wouldn't hurt. And it is the Punny birthday card. Sorry, our printer is out of a color here at work, but I didn't need the directions anyways. And it is number 51338. I will put a link in the description that'll take you to the OESD website where you can find that design for you. And with these affiliate links, it just gives us credit. You don't pay any more for the designs or the design packs, but it goes towards our Bernina number at the end of the year. So it just helps us out. So if you'd like to use that and bookmark it, I would appreciate it. And it doesn't cost you anything extra or change anything in the way that you buy them. It just gives us a little bit of extra at the end of the year. And this is the OESD Design Punny birthday cards. And as you can see, they are pretty fun. So thanks for sewing along with me. If you have any questions, give us a call at 503-775-7283, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.